All right, here we are, Unit 8, Integers and the Coordinate Plane. A great unit, one of my favorites. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to write our name. Write their name on the bottom here. I'm going to write my name. Our base, of course, is Andromeda. And then whatever homeroom is your homeroom, put your homeroom number. I'm going to put 170, but it could be 171, 172, 173, or home, depending on who you are. So integers and the coordinate plane. Today we're going to talk about integers. We're going to start off talking about integers and another group of numbers called rational numbers. And then we'll talk about the coordinate plane. So you've probably used the coordinate plane before. This is an example of the coordinate plane, and all of these numbers on the coordinate plane are examples of integers. So certain integers we haven't used before, and some you're very, very familiar with, and that's what we're going to talk about today. So you can see on page 2, there's some vocab, wonderful words that we're going to be working with. So we'll go to page 3. Here's page 3. Page 3, we're going to start with a little word sorting activity. It says positives and negatives. So integers, we're going to find, also include some negative numbers. It says the following words, these words, can help us determine whether numbers we are working with are positive or negative. Categorize the words into the chart below. Cross words off as you go to make sure you have used all the words. That's a great tip. So you can see here there's a category for negative, there's a category for positive. Some words that we will use in this unit will indicate a negative integer. Some words will indicate a positive integer. So what we're going to do now is just kind of get familiar with some of these words and think about whether they indicate a positive or negative integer. I'm actually going to do a few with you, and then I'm going to have you finish up the rest, and you'll be able to compare your answers to mine. Now, I'm actually going to start not at the very, very beginning. I'm actually going to start actually at the last column here, because there's a couple words that I want to make sure that we understand and know. So the first word is a deposit. Okay, and this is more of like a bank word. A deposit means you're putting money into your account. So if you're putting money into your account, a deposit would mean a positive number. So if you're adding to your account, your bank account, I'm thinking deposit is positive. You can almost even see the word positive in there, posit. Okay, a drop. So I'm going to cross that word out because we used it. I'm done. I've grouped or categorized deposit. I'm done with that one. Drop. A drop would indicate a negative. The number is decreasing, going into the negatives perhaps. So drop, negative. Lost. I would also think that lost, if you lose something, an amount of money or maybe even a pencil or two, a loss might be a negative number. You can use a negative number to show a loss or something is lost. All right, next one. And this is another bank word, withdraw. If you withdraw money, you're taking it out of the bank account. So thinking about the bank account, your bank account decreases. So a withdraw would actually could be represented with a negative number, withdraw. Bonus, that's like an extra and added on thing. That's going to be positive. A positive number can be used to show a bonus. Ascend. That's kind of like a plane where if a plane ascends, that means it's rising. It's rising in elevation. So ascend, I would think would be positive. All right, let's do one more column together. Then I'm going to have you try the rest on your own. Here we go. Lose. Well, lose would probably be negative, lose, because it's really close to lost. So lose, lost, negative. If you make a profit, that means you've earned money. So a profit would be positive. You can use a positive number to show a profit. Above. If something's above something else, it's going in the positive direction. So I'm thinking above would be positive. A score, if you score a certain number of points or goals, that is you're adding to your total. So that's going to be a positive change. If you receive something, again, you're getting something. You're receiving something, again, that's a positive change. So a lot of positives here. Look at that. Move forward. If you move forward, again, that's actually also, as well, a positive change, to move forward. Like if you're playing a game, a board game, and you move forward, that is a positive change. You're going in the positive direction in moving forward. All right. So we did the first two columns. I'm just going to put dots or bullet points here just to kind of organize these a little bit more. What you're going to do is with these words, you're going to do the same thing I just did. So you can pause it now, sort the words, and after you sort them, you can check to see what I had as well, just to check your different categories to see where I put the words. And I'm sure that yours and mine will be very, very similar. Okay, so try those, pause it, try those words, then unpause it once you've categorized those. Okie dokes. Moving on. So again, you'll be able to check my answers. They'll be posted on the assignment. So make sure to check those out. So now we're going to look at situations involving numbers, and we're going to use the idea of those key words we just sorted to help us write either a positive or negative integer. Now, an integer is a whole number, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and they're opposites, -1, -2, -3, -4, -5. So, and so on. And 0. 0 is also an integer. We're going to talk about that in a second when we do the number lines. So as we're doing these situations, we're looking at our keywords and thinking about whether that keyword would indicate a positive or a negative. Okay? So an increase in temperature of 5 degrees. The keyword here is increase. So I'm going to highlight that. You don't have to highlight it. You can if you want. If you have a highlighter handy, that might be nice. So the keyword is increase. And I'm thinking, well, is increase a positive change or a negative change? To me, that's a positive change if you increase something. So the integer to show that situation would be positive 5. Okay? 32 feet below sea level. The key word here, below. So below means if you're comparing it to 0, if you're below 32, that would be a negative if you're below. So it's going to be negative 32, which is an example of an integer. Next one, earn $15 babysitting. Keyword is earn. And if you earn something, that is a positive change. So it's going to be a positive number to earn something. All right, discount. Well, if you get a discount, that's a negative change because you're decreasing the price of the shirt. So the price is decreasing. It's becoming more negative. So the keyword is a discount. So if you have a discount on a shirt of $12, that means you're subtracting 12 from it. So it would be a negative change. Negative 12 would be the amount. I'm going to do 2 more with you, and then I'm going to have you try the rest on your own. And then again, my answers, you'll be able to compare your answers to mine. Surface of the ocean. The ocean surface. Surface is actually the key word. Now you're right at the surface. So you're not above or below. So this is actually a different one we haven't seen yet. The integer would actually be 0. Because it's like sea level. Sea level would be 0. Above sea level would be positive. Below sea level would be negative. At sea level would be just 0. So I'm actually going to jot that down. This is like at sea level. That would be 0. All right, last one. And we saw this word previously when we sorted words. Withdraw. Withdraw of $25 from your bank account. The key word would be withdraw. Now, when we think about a withdraw, you're taking money out. That's a negative change. You're taking money out of your bank account. Your bank account is decreasing in the amount of money it has in it. So that's a negative change. So it's going to be negative 25 to show a withdrawal of $25. Okay. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to try these 2 and these 4 below. Now, these ones here you don't have to do. Okay. You could write situations for these if you want, but Please try the next 6, these 2 here and these 4 below. Once you've tried those, you can unpause it. Again, you'll be able to check your answers on the assignment in a Google Doc. But take a pause, try them out, then unpause. Okie doke. Again, you'll be able to check your answers for those. I'll be checking those tomorrow just to make sure you did them, or whenever I see you next in math. Last page we're going to look at as we do our little introduction to integers. So I'm going to give you an idea of what are the integers. We talked about positives and negatives. Now I'm going to kind of show you what an integer would be on a number line. So the first thing to know is that 0, which would be on this number line right here, 0 is an integer. So 0 is an integer. So we're going to label that integer. It's just integer. I don't know why I put an R there. I was just being generous with my R. So I'm going to take that R back. 0 is an integer. Okay? We're going to label this number line here next with the positive integers. So after 0 would come the positive integers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Of course, this arrow means that this number line would continue in that direction forever. So these are all the positive integers going to the right, and they will continue like that forever. So these are the positive integers. Notice, there's no decimals here. There's no fractions, so there's no parts of numbers. These are all the whole numbers, which are the positive integers. Now, the negative integers are you can kind of think of them as like the opposites of the positive integers. Like 1 is a integer. What's the opposite of 1? It would be negative 1. What's the opposite of 2? Negative 2. The opposite of 3? Negative 3, and so on and so forth. Negative 4, negative 5. Now, as these negatives are getting farther from 0, they're decreasing in value. So, negative 8 is less than negative 7. Negative 9 is less than negative 8. So these numbers are decreasing as they move away from 0. These are called the negative integers. Notice, we don't have any fractions here. We don't have any decimals. It's just the positive whole numbers, 0, and the opposites of the positive whole numbers. Those are integers. Now, this is a set of numbers that, again, it's an infinitely big, infinitely large, and includes all the whole numbers, their opposites, and 0. Now, another way to show integers are using a number line. So I actually like to think of this number line, this vertical number line, almost like a thermometer, right? Where you have 0 here, and 0, of course, is an integer. And then as you go up the number line, you're increasing, you're getting more positive. So after 0 would come 1, then 2, 3, and so on and so forth, all the way up to, I believe this one goes up to 10, just like the other one. But again, after 10 would be 11, 12, 13, 14. It would go on forever, okay, with all the integers. Now, as you move down from 0, the numbers are getting more negative. So after 0 would come negative 1, then negative 2, then negative 3, and so on and so forth. So we're going to be using these two different types of number lines in the unit. So I just wanted to make you or get you familiar with both types, just because we will be seeing them throughout the unit. So when you move down this number line, okay, it's becoming less in value. When you go up this number line, it's becoming greater in value. So no matter where you start, if you start at negative 9 and you go to negative 8, as long as if you're going up this number line, you're increasing in value. So to go from negative 9 to negative 2 is actually an increase, even though you're still in the negatives. If you're going from 10 to negative 3, again, you're decreasing in value as you go down the number line. All right. So just to sum up here, the integers are all the positive whole numbers and their opposites, which would be the negatives, and 0. And again, all the integers are not shown here. Like these are just negative 10 through 10. Again, it goes beyond that to 11, 12, 13, 14, and so on and so forth, and then down from negative 10, negative 11, negative 12, and then down forever in that direction as well. All right, so make sure at this point that if you haven't checked your answers yet for the ones I asked you to do on your own, that you check those. Let me know if you have any questions as you're working. And if not, I will see you soon. Have a great day. Bye-bye.